Yo, in today's video, simple. I'm going to pull back the curtains on how you can launch and scale a new online info offer past $200,000 a month in today's business climate. Now, this is a key phrase, today's business climate, because the info marketing landscape, the business landscape, the online selling landscape is drastically changing. Your customers are becoming increasingly skeptical, increasingly sophisticated, increasingly aware. And as a byproduct of this, all of the solutions you see online, like all these outdated launch strategies and scaling strategies, they're becoming less effective because of the way that the business climate is changing. So this launch strategy is going to allow you to adapt and allow you to, of course, scale yours or a client's offer past $200,000 a month in 2025 and beyond. Now, this following A to Z strategy is going to be especially applicable for you if you have a personal brand. You're an online expert with an audience. You're unsure of how to transform your existing eyeballs into consistent cash. And of course, if you're the copywriter or growth partner for these online experts, wanting to make them more money so you can increase your revenue or profit share deals. And of course, keep your clients around for as long as you can, because you're not stuck in the client getting hamster wheel where you need to sign new deals to make up lost revenue and things of that realm. Anyway, introduction before the source. My name is Maciek, Lipa, and we've taken new online info offers from $0 to $113,000 in less than 4 weeks, $0 to $250,000 a month, $0 to $200,000 a month, and I've helped a decent number of clients scale past $1 million a month with their online education businesses. Now, I could have sprinkled in some more results, just kept it brief, but over this time, I've also sent a daily newsletter to my list. Like, feel free to sign up to my list. It'll be like the first link in the bio. I've sent a daily newsletter on copywriting, info marketing, scaling offers, mindset, everything you need, of course, to go ahead and differentiate yourself from all these other minions in the marketplace, and have also helped countless consulting students do the same for their clients. Now, this upcoming masterclass is going to exactly show you how to get your first 10 high-paying customers without paid ads. How to use these 10 customers to create what I like to call the social proof flywheel effect and collect more ammo for infinite scaling. The simple steps to take after you've sold these 10 customers to transition into a more self-sustaining funnel that allows you to attract more customers without being tied to day-to-day operations like content production, recording these assets, being too stuck into fulfillment, doing the media buying yourself, and things of that realm. And of course, as a bonus, I'm going to also be showing you the exact funnel walkthrough that we've used and we're still using to launch and scale new info offers from $0 to $200,000 a month consistently, incredibly profitably. Okay, so here's the scaling piece of the puzzle. How can you, as an online expert, an online coach, an online consultant, whatever you like to label yourself as, get your first 10 high-paying customers using your already existing organic presence? This organic presence could be a following on Instagram, a following on Twitter, a following on LinkedIn, subscribers on YouTube. It doesn't matter which platform you've kind of accumulated these followers on. This following launch strategy is going to be massively applicable to you. Now, when I'm high paying, I also genuinely mean high paying. Like, I mean high paying clients and customers that can spend $2, $3, $5, $7, $9, or even $10,000 for some sort of one-to-one consulting or guidance. And the reason why you're able to charge as much is simple. It's because you've spent X amount of years accumulating these skill sets. You, as the online expert, have experienced the customer transformation, like live in the flesh, right? Like, you've gone from point A to point B. And along your customer transformation journey, you've picked up on specific lessons, frameworks, and strategies that you can effortlessly give to someone else to help that someone else remove a deeply rooted pain, of course, work towards some dream outcome. So it's all possible, but before I expose this launch strategy, I want to stick to some fundamentals, because I'm a firm believer that these fundamentals are the differences between you launching that offer and that offer doing absolutely nothing, to you launching that offer and suddenly collecting a bunch of cash. Many online experts, they neglect this market research process, and it's the reason why, of course, they're not getting the traction they want. Now, the first principle or the first foundational kind of thing is you must brainstorm what your customer transformation looks like. You must be taking somebody a customer, a client from point A to point B in their life. Now, point A, I also like to call this the nightmare situation. Point A is the nightmare situation where they're unfulfilled, unhappy, they're struggling to go to sleep because something deep's on their mind, etc. And point B is that point in life where they're fulfilled, where they're happy, where they're going to sleep with like a full clarity and peace of mind because they know that they're living the life that they've always wanted, right? So you must brainstorm this to make it easy. You can even brainstorm what this looks like from like thinking about in like moments of your life. This makes it relatively easy. But what this allows you to do, right, like this simple brainstorming process, allows you to create a step-by-step curriculum that aligns with your customer's transformation. I'll show you like more of this in just a moment. You can deliver genuine customer results as you're clear about what you do and who you help. And of course, you're setting foundations right for when you begin scaling. All great online info offers have a clear transformation. It's the reason why customers and clients, they buy things in the first place. They want to remove a deeply rooted pain, or they want to work towards some sort of dream outcome. And without this brainstorming process, you're not going to know exactly what your customers want. So an example, like let's say I'm even selling a freelance copywriting program, right? I'm helping aspiring freelance copywriters sign clients they want and earn 5 to 10K a month so they can move to Bali and live this good life, right? Point A in their life could be that they've got no clients and they're unconfident in their skill. Point B is that they've got maximum clarity with their skill and they're working with 5 clients and have a waiting list for future prospects because, of course, how much demand they got. Now, when I'm clear on this customer transformation, what I can do, like I can write that down, like point A is what my customer looks like, point B is what my customer looks like. Then I can create like 3 to 5 modules or like step-by-step processes that allow someone to go from point A to point B in their life. This allows you to to maximize results for your clients. So don't neglect this, really need to move in. And of course, on top of this, you must also get clear on what your audience wants. Now, if you've got some sort of followers, once again, no matter what platform it is, it makes it very easy for you. Like you can first run in-depth surveys to validate exact pain points. Like we do this to our clients' email lists, and we get them to fill in a Typeform application with them kind of like name, email, phone number, their demographic, how old they are, what they like. And then we have like a kind of a separate question which says, which 2 to 3 of these resonate with you most? And 2 or 3 of them, they're of course like all pains. So like we see which pains resonate the most with the prospects. And when we know which pains resonate the most with the prospects, we've got endless marketing ammo. You can do this very easy. You can do a launch on Instagram, a launch on Twitter, a launch on LinkedIn, wherever the platform is. If you've got an email list established, it makes it a lot easier. You may sometimes experience that people are receptive towards filling it in the Typeform. So what we've done is kind of offer them like a free consultation to 3 people who redeem it, who go over the Typeform efficiently and effectively, for example, right? So you can do in-depth surveys. These validate exact pain points, hopes, frustrations, etc. But what's most needle moving, and I've done this to my email list, is offer 10 free consultations to people who follow you. Now, on my email list, before I launched Info Profits Mastermind, my coaching program, I jumped on around 7 to 9 calls with people on my list, of course, allowing them to overcome a bottleneck. And then at the end of the call, we spent about 10 minutes going deep into their current situation, where they want to be, what they believe is preventing them from them reaching where they want to be. And if I released a coaching program or course that consists of XYZ programs or like offer components, would they be interested? And then these free consultations, it gave me endless marketing ammo. Like I knew that the deeply rooted problems that people have are typically offer creation, acquisition, and fulfillment. That's why I made my coaching program. Like my coaching program shows you how to create a grand slam offer with blue ocean offer positioning type shit. It shows you high leverage client acquisition strategies that you can use to sign high value clients using that offer. Then it shows you how to generate effective results for clients after you've onboarded them. And this was all done possible thanks for these 10 free consultations. If you've got Instagram, you can outreach to people who frequently engage with you, offer them consultations, give them some free game, and then use it as a market research lesson. This allows you to get clear on what your audience wants. So we've got in-depth surveys, free consultations, but by the end of these 2 methods, if you do them correctly, it's all you should need. Like, of course, you've got competitor analysis, Reddit, YouTube, things of that realm. But if you ask these questions to people that follow you, it's a lot more effective. So use these methods. But by the end of these two, you should understand who you're serving, the ICP in and out, like the demographic, psychographic, how old they are, who they listen to, etc. What they want is like what hopes and dreams have they got, and the struggles they're currently experiencing, preventing them from getting where they want to. When you're clear on all of these, just brain dump this, get a notebook out and then write as much things as you possibly can, because it's going to allow you to do this process a lot more efficiently. And now this process is creating a one-to-one time-limited offer solving specific problems your customers are experiencing. Now, I would like to highlight this one-to-one, and I'm going to elaborate on this. If you're an online expert who hasn't sold to their audience before, I wouldn't suggest for you to go straight to a group coaching program because you haven't really tested your methodologies and haven't got results for people. The easiest way to get results is through one-to-one consulting. Like before I launched my coaching program, I done about 10 to 12 private one-to-one consultations. It allowed me to test my methodologies to see if I can generate results for people. It allowed me to collect social proof. So when it was time to kind of transition to a done with you group program, things were a lot easier. So as an online expert who hasn't monetized or who hasn't sold effectively, do one-to-one, time-limited offer. And now to create this offer, very simple, just ask yourself these 4 questions. What skills do you have? How did you acquire these skills? What was the most challenging part of your journey? And what steps did you take from before to after situation? This is the most important. Back to the example of like a freelance copywriting program. Let's say I was once in a similar situation then, like to where my ICP is now. I could just think back to moments of my life. It's like when I was struggling to sign clients, like where was I, what was I doing, etc. Then what 3 to 5 steps did I take to sign more clients, to improve my skill sets, etc. You can do a very similar thing. It's easy, but once again, as I said, it's neglected, and not many people do these market research kind of things, right? Now, your audience comes before offer scaling. Don't neglect this step. People are buying from you for a reason. Customers are the cornerstone of all success. That's why before any pre-launch process or email list gathering, make sure you do this effectively. Now, when you know what your audience wants to a T, here's how you can get your first 10 customers following a stupidly simple organic cohort launch strategy. Now, offer design, I broke this down for you. I would create a life-changing one-to-one offer, helping 10 people solve a specific urgent problem. I highlighted one-to-one because if you haven't monetized, I highly recommend for you to start with one-to-one, so you test your methodologies and then you can transition into a group program after. Only 10 people, so it's very scarce and urgent. And price point, when I done one-to-one, it was like a 4K investment, I believe. I should charge more because, of course, people were gladly able to, happily spending that money with me. I would suggest like 5K, of course, depending on your level of confidence. If you're fairly confident, you can charge 2-3K. But this process is all about creating the social proof flywheel effect, like testing your methodology so you can go out there and sign more clients. Now, if someone, I put this in brackets, if someone has objections about the price or they ask about potential installment plans, they're not a good fit. If someone's overly hesitant towards the price, you need to attract someone better. If they ask about installment plans, that being said, you could potentially offer these just to collect some cash and testing your methodologies. But if someone's broke or they can't afford your consulting packages, they're not a good fit. I wouldn't take one, so something to pay attention to. Now, I would also cap the spots at this to only 10 clients or students, because this gives you leverage with marketing to activate real urgency and scarcity. When I launched my one-to-one consulting on the list, I believe I capped it to 7 people, I believe. But then I gave a strong sales argument. I kind of said, I'm only doing this for 7 people because I want to provide maximum attention to detail with each person, and each person is going to receive 2 calls a week. So of course my time is of essence because I'm still scaling our agency, etc. So make sure you come up with a strong sales argument, but you don't want to take on more than 10 for this. If you cap out at 10 and then you successfully sell out with 10 students at 5K price points, that's 50K cash collected. Not bad, right? But the more you take on, the more you kind of on 1-to-1 hour calls, it kind of gets tricky. So stick to 10. Now, pre-launch positioning, very simple. It's all about creating a content production system. Now, I'm not necessarily the best organic guy, but I have seen what our clients do and they absolutely crush with organic. And then what I've seen with these pre-launch processes are publishing 2 to 3 daily high-value content pieces demonstrating deep expertise. That was cool. So here are some examples of course, these daily high-value content pieces that demonstrate deep expertise. When you push out content pieces that demonstrate your deep expertise, by the time you launch something, all of your objections, all of your customers' objections and limitations are overcome because you've done this demonstrating. Now, the first example is by this woman. Now, her name is Lo Silva. I came across her on the Explore page. And she teaches, I believe, like women how to become sales reps and appointment setters. But this content piece, it demonstrates deep expertise and credibility because she's actively on a sales call, right? People can't like lie about this. This is like a proven fact. This is like one content piece. Another content piece is, of course, videos of you explaining lessons with actionable advice. Now, as I'm a tangible guy, here's another good example. One of our old clients, he's of course got an IG reel of him walking over a blueprint on how to make money with clothing brands. He's demonstrating his credibility in like whiteboard format, breaking down the numbers, once again, boosting his credibility. That's another example. Tweet carousel slides. These work effectively well. I know like a lot of big players are implementing these. And this one got deleted actually. That is my apologies. That one got deleted, but like in a nutshell is, of course, as you see on Twitter, you've got these Twitter threads, right? They walk over like 3 to 5 key lessons, like here's how to find a profitable Amazon product. Step 1, here's what you do. Step 2, here's what you do. Step 3, here's what you do, etc. It shows you how you've seen success with X thing, and it demonstrates this deep credibility. You could also, on top of this, is of course, share specific client success stories related to your one-to-one program's core transformation. If my program's core transformation was, here's how you land 10K per month clients, I will just simply show client success stories from people I've helped that have signed 10K a month clients, right? The more proof you create, the better. Now, of course, you could run a targeted survey to validate market interest and like constantly refine your offer. You can do this in type format. When you've collected some emails, you could even ask people simple emails. But what I would do is like, if you've got some sort of organic presence created and you've got followers and then you're posting content, like consistent content, this is what you do. You create a simple waitlist application process to qualify these participants. And then on your stories, you call to action people here. You get people on the link in bio. You put this in the link in bio. And the funnel page is simple. You just have like a headline, sub-headline, user information, and like a call to action. But what this waitlist does, it kind of gets people to commit to the fact that they're interested in what you have to offer. Then when they opt in, they're now part of your email service provider. Then you can drip them with emails and value and like links to YouTube videos, podcasts, etc. But as they're not on your email list, it's a lot more powerful because, as I said, they committed their interest. They gave you their information. So use all of this content production system, all of these IG reels, all of these YouTube videos, whatever platform you're using, to divert all traffic to a waitlist application funnel following this structure. And then, of course, when people are inside, then you can drip them emails. And I've got the exact launch sequence that you can use to, of course, sell your high-ticket services. Your content should be curated to build intrigued and get people to opt in to your waiting list. If I'd done a tweet carousel slide of here's how you land your first 5K per month copywriting client, I could give them 5 gems, and then on the 6th slide, I could have a call to action, get them to my link in bio to opt into my waiting list where I'm dropping something revolutionary, showing them how to achieve X outcome in Y time, right? So it should be maximum congruency. Now, when people are on your email list, Active Campaign, ConvertKit, whatever email service provider you're using, here's the launch sequence you use. Now, I'm also going to embed a YouTube video in the descriptions of a free email marketing crash course where I walked over this in like a lot more detail. It's getting like a bunch of love, so I'm sure you'll find some value inside. But as soon as someone joins the waiting list, just simply congratulate them on joining the waiting list. Email 2 should be an introduction to your story. It's like a credibility booster. Email 3 is like where you break common limiting beliefs, objections, and like begin teasing your solutions. Email 4, break even more common limiting beliefs and showcase more authority. Email 5 No, email 4 is the first time you sell, by the way. And when you sell, you simply sell a simple Calendly booking page, or like even like a funnel with like a type of qualification for your high ticket. Very simple. So this is where you subtly sell. Email 5 is a more aggressive pitch, but of course still build these know, like, and trust elements. Email 6 is a reminder, getting people to take the action you want, booking a call for your high ticket one-to-one consulting. Email 7, a lot more aggressive with your pitching and urgency, like highlight the fact that you're only taking on 10 people one-to-one. And then the last email is like a last chance email, getting like letting customers know that spots are limited. And this is your last opportunity to receive one-to-one handheld guidance from yourself or a client to accelerate the person's success. If someone's gone through all of these, of course, this is like a autoresponder. So the more people opt into the waiting list, the more people you're going to get inside like the launch sequence, allowing you to collect like a lot more quick cash. So if someone goes all over these 8 emails and they still don't book a call, you can send broadcasts. But this should honestly get a calendar packed, especially because you build up all of this intrigue and curiosity with your content. Now, key success metrics, some KPIs. Depending on your following, depending on how engaged they are, I would continue pushing your waiting list until you have 1K signups. Because when you have 1K signups, you can easily convert minimum 1% of these 1K people. And now if your average deal size is 5K, you can make like 50K in cash collected with this simple launch strategy. So I would wait for 1K people minimum. Of course, you have this autoresponder, but you also have the daily broadcasts in the background to get more people to book their call. And as I said, the funnel that you divert traffic to, simple. Calendly booking page or a simple funnel with a type form. Don't overcomplicate the process. These people have been consuming your content. They're waiting for something for you to drop. So don't neglect this principle. Now, the flywheel effect, of course, while you're simultaneously working with these 10 people, and this is what I do, like I'm going to show you this in like a lot more detail. When you sell your first 10, you of course need to prepare for scaling. So when you're working with your 10, you need to simultaneously validate that your methodologies work. Like premium students also hand you feedback. Like when I was working with one-to-one clients, I tend to ask them questions on like, what did you think of this client acquisition strategy? Or like, what did you think of this offer creation formula, right? They'll give me honest feedback. That's feedback that I can use to better the program and generate better results. So these 10 students allow you to validate that your methodologies work. It allows you to create a social proof flywheel effect where you increase your credibility in the space. If you've never sold to your audience before, you've got 0 case studies. If you've worked with your first 10 high ticket one-to-one students and they saw a result, now you've suddenly got case studies. You can ask them for client interviews, screenshots, WhatsApp messages, whatever it is, because the more social proof you create, the more credible you are in the space, the more likely people in the future are likely to take action with you, if that makes sense. Now, what this also allows you to do is, of course, create premium positioning with your offer as 10 people already invested high ticket with you. When you sell your first 10, you've got proof of concept. If you can get 10 buys, you can get 50 buys. If you can get 50 buys, you can get 100 buyers. So it allows you to create premium positioning because, of course, you've gathered proof of concept. Now, with my first 10 students, before I transitioned into a done with you group coaching program, I offered, as I said, 7 to 10 one-to-one students in 90-day program. And what I done, I brainstormed the customer journey and offered 1 to 1 hour calls for each person for specific parts of the customer journey. I offered these one-to-one students a 1 to 1 hour call on offer creation, a 1 to 1 hour call on acquisition, and a 1 to 1 hour call on onboarding and fulfillment, meaning all of their key bottlenecks were overcome. And the way I gathered these bottlenecks was, of course, through my market research process. So don't neglect this. If I didn't jump on these calls and these free consultations, I wouldn't know these bottlenecks and I wouldn't have not got the results that I did. So make sure you, of course, offer these 1 to 1 hour calls. Of course, it can be a bit challenging because you're taking calls and things of that realm, but don't look at it as like a long-term game. Look at it as to collect these methodologies, social proof, so you can begin scaling without you being too tight to the operations. So I, of course, offered 1 to 1 hour calls. I crafted done-for-you templates and SOPs to overcome key bottlenecks. I had SOPs on client acquisition. I had SOPs on offer creation. I had SOPs on onboarding. I had SOPs on here's how you conduct a sales call and everything that they needed. What this allowed me to do is to not be too much inside the WhatsApp group chat, asking, like answering questions and things of that realm. I just handed them the Google Doc and the questions were answered. You should do the same as well because it does save you time. Create some done for you templates and SOPs specifically for these bottlenecks. And of course, on top of this, I also granted 24/7 WhatsApp access to get their key questions answered. So this is the only roadmap you need to get your first 10 high-paying customers. I've used it for my offer in For Profits Mastermind. We've used something similar for dozens of clients, and it does work effectively. Okay, so it's a new day. Of course, you see the white quarter zip rather than the black shirt I was wearing in a previous section of the masterclass. New day, new value. Nevertheless, this section of the masterclass is probably the most important, and it's called the Diversifying scale. And the reason why it's most important, I'm going to walk over that in just a moment. But of course, if you've watched this masterclass, you now understand how to get your first 10 high-paying customers, right? You've used your organic traffic mediums, you've used IG, TikTok, YouTube, wherever you got these followers on to get these 10 customers. You've worked with them for some time. You've been taking 1-to-1 hour calls. They may be getting some results and things of that realm, right? This process, as I said, is important because it allows you to create the initial social proof you need to diversify and scale like a lot more predictably, right? So, of course, after this, make sure if you have got some results for these folks after the 60 to 90 days, however long your program is, simply shoot them a message, ask for some sort of video testimonial, some images or the results that they got, etc. Because it's going to make this process a lot more easy and it's going to allow you to diversify profitably and predictably. Now, the diversify and scale section. Now, this section is critical to scaling an online offer past $200,000 a month in 2025. If you're an online expert, authority figure, have some sort of following, and only do one-to-one high-ticket coaching, it's simply not scalable. You achieve leverage and scalability through diversification. Now, I'm not telling you to completely abandon one-to-one high-ticket coaching. Of course, like you can still take on a few people for your one-to-one package, right? But let's say now you only rely on one-to-one and you onboard, 10 to 15 new clients every single week, right? That's a potential of an extra 10 to 15 new calls every single week on your calendar. And then the more calls you take, the less attention to detail you have with bettering your program and recording assets that allow you to scale without you being too tied to day-to-day operations and things of that realm. So the easiest way to diversify is to do the following. The first one is simply transforming your one-to-one coaching into a group program. So you go from one-to-one to one-to-many. Now, I break this example down with, of course, what I done. Of course, as mentioned on my list, right, I took on I don't know how many it was. Of course, teaching them how to better the offer, client acquisition, and how to sign coaches, consultants, and course creators, right? Now, I was taking about 12 to 15 one-to-one hour calls a week. This was 12 to 15 hours on my calendar I had to dedicate for these one-to-one students. Now, it wasn't the worst thing of all because, of course, it allowed me to get my feet wet, allowed me to test my methodologies. But over some time, is of course, it gets extremely busy on the GCAR, right? So as soon as I transformed into a group program, I went from 12 to 15 calls a week to now I take one call every single Wednesday and it's roughly 1 hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours, but I've gone from 12 to 15 hours a week to now only 2 hours a week just by making this change. So when you've collected the social proof, when you've gotten results for your one-to-one students, go to a group program. So you go to one-to-many. And if anything, it betters your students a lot more because now they're joining some sort of community, they can create relationships, they can bounce ideas off each other, etc. In fact, when I've gone from one-to-one to a group program, the people suddenly, they got even better results, despite the fact that I'm not as hands-on to, of course, the fulfillment. So that's the first thing. Now, the second thing, which is probably the most important, is you need to create some sort of self-sustaining machine or conversion mechanism in the demonstrative funnel. More on this in just a moment. That allows you to attract new customers daily without worrying about fulfillment breaking or being too tied to the day-to-day operations. Now, I'm going to walk over this demonstrative funnel in just a moment, but where most online experts, offer owners go wrong in this process, of course, with the diversification into paid ads and other mediums, the first thing is they get stuck in the perfect product analysis wheel, right? Where they sell features nobody asks for. So like many offer owners, online experts, they believe that if they sell something that they would buy themselves, it would sell in the market. And this is not the case, right? This is self-centered analysis rather than customer-focused analysis. The main goal of business and offer creation is, of course, simple. You need to create products that positively impact lives and that actually customers want themselves, right? So don't make this mistake. Now, the second one is similar to the point above, is the echo chamber problem, where they build the product based on assumptions. You never build the product based on assumptions. You build the product, I'm gonna write this down. You build the product based on research and validation in what people want. Now, if you're the new online expert, and of course you've worked with these one-to-one students, right? You can kind of see what they truly want through like working with them one-on-one and just simply getting market research from them. Like if you work with one-to-one clients and they ask you specific WhatsApp questions about, let's say, I don't know, like, how do I acquire clients, right? This is a huge bottleneck. Like this is what people need. So like you can overcome these bottlenecks with your teachings. So you need to, of course, never sell these products based on assumption. It always comes through research and validation in what your customers truly want. Now, the third one, very, very dangerous, is that these offer creators and online experts, they try to reinvent the wheel with, of course, creating this offer, right? You can't sell an offer to the marketplace if it's truly not in demand, right? Like they try to come up with some insane, like teach and take away or some insane lessons. And if no one else on the market is selling a similar offer on a marketplace, it's a sign that the offer won't, of course, be profitable and you won't like make the money you want with the offer. So never try to reinvent the wheel. Always listen to your customers and always, of course, do the market research to ensure that other people like you are selling similar offers on the market. Now, of course, the final one, they're not appealing to a specific ICP in a specific niche who is already spending money on preventing a problem or achieving a core desire. I went over this in some detail, of course, in this section here, but no matter what niche you're in, you always need to help a specific person in a specific niche, of course, who's already spending money because it gives you validation and helping them prevent a problem or achieve a core desire. For example, I don't know, my ICP could be middle-aged women who are scared of dying alone, and they're already spending money on, of course, like these attraction programs, these dating programs, and then they want to finally find the love of their life, right? That's an example of like a clear ICP with a huge pain who's already spending money on overcoming that pain so we can make money with an offer in that potential vertical, if that makes sense. Now, here's how you can easily flip the switch and almost guarantee you're selling a product that will entice customers, both through organic and paid, by the way, to take out their credit cards and buy your offer. The first one, before you launch, jump on 15 free consultations with your dream prospects, dissecting their core problems. You take note of the biggest core desire problem customers have, and that's your amount. Now, this is the entire philosophy of the demonstrative funnel, which I'm going to walk over in just a moment, but one-to-one high-ticket consulting is different from the demonstrative funnel. And then I'll walk over this in just a moment. Hence why you do need to jump on these free consultations, or even if you've worked with these one-to-one clients, right? Like you can even ask them about their specific problems, and then you can use that as more ammo. But I'm going to walk over this so it's more clear for you. Now, the second one is this offer that you're selling through this conversion mechanism in the demonstrative funnel. It needs to target a core desire people are already spending money on. Selling a digital guide, for example, to married couples already spending money on marriage counseling is a good example, right? As I said, you don't want to reinvent the wheel. You don't want to sell offers that are not going to be profitable in the market. Now, the third one, ensure that your product overcomes the three key limitations: time, money, and belief. Here's a contrast of a poor offer and a good offer. That's done through the demonstrative funnel. The poor offer is buy this copywriting course, learn these principles, create a website, write a VSL, create a lead list, and then send 10 messages daily to prospects. This is a bad offer as adding time, belief, limitations. This just screams that it's like a lot of work, but not only that, is also the belief element. Because like now, if you try to sell the fact that they need to write a VSL, subconsciously these prospects are thinking, but how do I write a VSL? And then they're not going to take you up on your offer in the demonstrative funnel. So you need to overcome these belief limitations. And here's an example of a good one. It's kind of the realm of copy and paste these battle-tested code email scripts to sign your first copywriting client in 21 days or less, right? This is an example of a good offer as you're removing these limitations. When someone goes over this, for example, like first, it seems really easy. They just need to copy and paste these code email scripts. but there's no belief limitations associated to it. Like the prospect isn't thinking, okay, like, but do I need to do a VSL? Do I need to do this? It's like, do I need to write them myself? No, you don't need to do that, because all you need to do is copy and paste these cold email scripts, and you can sign your first copywriting client in 21 days or less. So this is very important, of course, in the demonstrative funnel. And the fourth one, of course, as my previous videos, if you haven't watched my previous videos on the demonstrative funnel and low ticket product creation, go down below and then you'll see like a bunch of recommended videos. But the entire basis is, of course, stems from a low ticket product. And when you create your low ticket product, it has to have one big underlying idea. You don't want to overwhelm your prospects, right? Like, for example, with Sabri Subi, he's probably one of my favorite marketers in the industry. His books sell like crazy, right? He's got one big underlying idea of getting more customers. Simple, right? For this example, right? Like if we read the headline, new book reveals a counterintuitive intake process that shifts marketing from reactive to proactive without dealing with low quality online leads. Like the entire big idea is, of course, going from reactive to proactive and no longer worrying about this. And this is a never ending cycle. Like even with this funnel here, I can show you another example of like this big underlying idea that all these great low ticket products have. With this funnel here is, of course, as you see, the main outline or like the main underlying idea is finding peace as a parent and learning how to turn your anger into peace, right? It's one big idea. Like these low ticket products, they're not like selling numerous big ideas. Like imagine if this woman right now, she sold, I don't know, like how to overcome ADHD in your children, how to make your children more peaceful, how to give them peace of mind at school. It's like overwhelm, right? It needs to have one big underlying idea. Now, there are more examples. This one is a low ticket product and he teaches people how to master the drums. It's one core desire. It's like very easy, right? This one, same, like a similar philosophy, but he teaches people how to master the piano. Or even feminine frequencies is another one. And their big idea is like how to become instantly irresistible to men, right? It's one big idea. This product is a 28-day anxiety relief challenge for children. They've all got one big underlying idea that makes the low ticket product, of course, so highly effective. Now with the demonstrative funnel, right? Of course, as I mentioned, when you diversify and scale, you go to a group program, but how do you bring eyeballs to the group program? You bring eyeballs to the group program with creating this self-sustaining machine in the demonstrative funnel. And the demonstrative funnel in a nutshell is essentially a low ticket book call hybrid. So on the front end, you sell a low ticket product that, of course, has this one big idea and it can get your customers a quick win. Then when someone buys that low ticket product with order bumps, you have 2 order bumps for AOV, they automatically go to a book call step where you sell them on your group program. And the reason why this is so effective is because you're selling to customers who've already bought from you and your product that does the demonstrating of the results you can get and your credibility. So this is the key goal, right, of the low ticket product. You need to attract the buyers on the front end who have the exact problem we are uniquely qualified to solve on the back end. It's an easily digestible product. It's like do yourself mini course, a book, or templates that offer a push button product that solves an immediate problem or delivers an immediate result that can be amplified through your backend product. Now, it sounds complex, but it's the easiest way to diversify. Matter of fact, we've used this funnel to diversify clients and scale their offers from $0 to $200,000 a month by using these principles. Now, the machine, right, this self-sustaining funnel, how does it look like? Like when you've got these 10 clients, you've got some social proof, you know that your methodologies work. When you kind of have some idea of what to sell low ticket on the front end, how do you create this, right? Now, this is what the demonstrative funnel looks like. So just so you kind of know, here are some wins that we're getting with this funnel. Like here from November 17th of 2024 to November 23rd, we only spent 4.4K in ad spend and we got back 51K cash collected on 11.55 ROAS, pretty impressive. 20K closes, 10K closes, 20K days. Here, 85K cash collected, more PIFs. Here's like a 41K day. You kind of get a gist, right? But this demonstrative funnel, it works in a very simple way. So this book call step is your group coaching program. Here is, of course, the front end, right? On the front end, you need to sell a simple product that allows these products, that allows these prospects to get a quick win. $27 and 2 order bumps. Then very simple. When someone buys this, we get them on the page right away to book their call. Like very simple. We don't overwhelm them, right? Then they book their call. And then of course, we've got a pre-call VSL, which gets them prepared for the call. Now, here's where it kind of gets interesting. So When someone buys this front end product, like for this client, it was a crash course on buying an accounting firm, right? All low ticket buyers were zapped into a school community where the material was there, where they had access to a community, and where we used this community for further nurturing and propaganda. They received all the modules step by step. We got these people to introduce themselves, so they kind of committed to the vision, and we bombarded them with case studies and like setters inside there. The client dropped in like regular gaming inside the community, right? Because like over time, we're nurturing these low ticket buyers. So it's in their best interest to take us up on our high ticket offer, right? And just by introducing this school community, like we've, of course, in a good way, by the way, is like propaganded these people into booking a call. And when they're on a call, closing them is so easy because, of course, these nurturing practices and these sales assets. So school community is a good method to use. Of course, you can do simple Kajabi fulfillment, but the problem with Kajabi is consumption is pretty low. Like people don't log into the Kajabi, they don't know how to navigate, etc. Inside the school community, we make it very, very simple for them. Week 1, here's what you do. Week 2, here's what you do. Week 3, here's what you do, and so on and so on and so on. You need to improve the product consumption as a whole. So this is the thing. Now, you may also be wondering is, of course, how do we get traffic? You can use organic. Organic works effectively well for the demonstrative funnel, but the best traffic medium is cold meta ads. We use static ads, very simple here. And of course, just broad targeting and very simple. We use 100% cold traffic, and it's how we were able to, of course, generate results like this for some clients, like 11.55 ROAS in 6 days, which is pretty impressive, right? So we use Meta for the cold traffic. What we also do is go over and beyond with the custom Facebook audiences, and we set up propaganda campaigns that target specific people. If someone visits this page and they don't buy the low ticket, they're put in a custom audience which feeds them content that overcome their objections. If someone, of course, buys a low ticket but they don't book the call, they put in a separate custom Facebook audience, which of course overcomes even more objections and highlighting the importance of them booking a call. So that's, of course, it in a nutshell. To kind of summarize it is, of course, you can diversify with webinar funnels and things of that realm, but the demonstrative funnel is just so streamlined because you've already done your one-to-one. You put all these lessons into a group program, and then the only thing you do is create some sort of simple low ticket product before the group program. So you have your low ticket product, it can be $27. When someone buys that, they book a call with you or a closer to, of course, enroll in your group program. So that's, of course, the masterclass in a nutshell. Of course, hope you found some insane value inside this. As I mentioned, 2 things. 1, I've got a daily copyright info marketing newsletter, link in bio, where I send a daily, like I don't skip a day, newsletter on signing clients, offer creation, direct response, how to differentiate in the market, how to scale offers, things of that realm. And the second thing is, of course, on my YouTube video, make sure you subscribe on my channel because I've got a lot more videos on offer tickets, scaling offers, and things of that realm. So yeah, hope you found some value. Let's fucking get it. See you on the next YouTube video, and let's scale these offers.